Implementing rules and regulation of the National Service Training Program, NSTP. Pursuant to Section 12 of Republic Act No. 9163, otherwise known as the National Service Training Program, NSTP, Act of 2001, the Commission on Higher Education SHED, Technical Education and Skill Development Authority or TESDA, and Department of National Defense, DND, in consultation with concerned government agencies, the Philippines Association of States and College, Coordinating Council or Private Educational Association of the Philippines, non-government organization are recognized students, organization hereby jointly issue, adopt, and promulgate the following implementing rules and regulations to implement the provision of the Act. Rule 1. Guiding Principles. Section 1. Guiding Principles. While it's the prime duty of the government to serve and protect its citizens, in turn it shall be the responsibility of all citizens to defend the security of the states and fulfillment thereof. The government may require each citizen to render personal military of civil service. Section 2. Role of the Youth. In recognition of the vital role of the youth in a nation building, the state shall promote civic consciousness among them and shall develop their physical, moral, spiritual, intellectual, and social well-being. It shall inculcate the ideals of patriotism, nationalism, and advance their involvement in public and civic affairs. Rule number 2. Definition of terms. Section 3. As used in this implementing rules and regulation, IRR, the following terms shall mean. Ang NSTP o ang National Service Training Program ay isang pambayang na programa na inihahanda para sa mga magsisipagkolehiyo upang tumulong o magprotekta sa bansa kung kinakailangan. Ito ay itinatag ng pamahalang Pilipinas noong January 5, 2000 ayon sa Republic Act 9163 o na mas kilala bilang National Service Training Program Act of 2001. Ang ROTC o Reserve Officers Training Program Corps ay ang programang naitatag sa ilalim ng Section 38 and 39 of Republic Act No. 7077 na idinsenyo upang magkaroon ng kaalaman at ensayong militar ang mga mag-aaral upang matulungan ng bansa kung sakaling kinakailangan ng pandepensang militar. Ang LTS naman o Literacy Training Service ay idinisenyo upang asahin o kakayahan ng mga mag-aaral na maging guro sa larangan ng literasiya at matematika para sa mga batang nag-aaral pa lamang sa elementarya, mga batang hindi pumapasok sa eskwela at iba pang gawain na kailangan ng kanilang serbisyo sa lipunan. Ang CWTS o Civic Welfare Training Service ay naglalayong tulungan ang komunidad sa pagkaaroon ng maganda at maayos na pamumuhay sa pamamagitan ng paglilinis at pagtuturo tungkol sa mga bagay na nakakatulong sa pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay. Rule number 3. Program Implementation. Section 4. Coverage. All incoming freshmen, students, male and female, starting school year 2002-2003, enrolled in any baccalaureate and in at least 2-year technical, vocational, or associate courses are required to complete one NSTP component of their choice. As a graduation requirement, the above provision no over does not cover the following. Section 5. Coverage. Student male and female of any baccalaureate degree, course or 2-year technical vocational courses in public and private educational institution shall be required to complete one of the NSTP components. Section 6. Duration and equivalent course unit of each of the aforementioned NSTP components shall be undertaken for an academic period of 2 semesters. It shall be credited for 3 units per semester, for 54 to 90 training hours per semester. Section 7. NSTP. Offering in higher and technical vocational educational institution. All higher and technical vocational institution, public and private, must offer at least one of the program components and at least one other components. Section 8. Management and monitoring. The school authorities shall exercise academic and administrative supervision over the design, formulation, adoption, and respective school, subject to the provision of this IRR. Rule number 4. Fees and incentives. Section 9. Fees. No fees shall be collected for any of the NSTP component except basic tuition fees, which should not be more than 50% of the charge of the school per academic unit. Section 10. Incentives. A program of assistance incentives for ROTC students shall be provided and administered by DND in accordance with existing law and regulation and subject to the availability of funds. Rule number 5. Organization of the NSTP graduates. Section 11. Organization of the NSTP graduates. Graduates of the non-ROTC components of the NSTP shall belong to the National Service Reserve Corps, NSRC, and could be tapped by the state of literacy and civic welfare activities, especially in times of calamities, through the joint efforts of DND, SHED, and TESDA, in coordination with DILG, DSWD, and other concerned agencies association. Rule number 6. Transitory provision. Section 12. Suspension of ROTC requirement. The completion of ROTC training as a requisite for graduation is set aside for students who have completed all their academic requirements. Courses are certified by the school on or before the effectively of the NSTP Act of 2001, which is March 23, 2002. The concerned student may apply for graduation with their respectively schools. Section 13. Transitory provision. Male students who are not covered by Section 12 of this rule are currently enrolled but have not taken any of military service or MS, civic welfare service CWTS, or law enforcement service LTS. Programs shall be covered by the NSTP law. Rule number 7. Miscellaneous provisions. Section 14. Information dissemination. The SHED, TESDA, and the DND shall provide information on this Act and IRR to all concerned publics through different modes disseminating information. Section 15. Amendatory Clause. Section 35 of Commonwealth Act No. 1, Executive Order No. 207 of 1939, Section 2 and 3 of Presidential Decree No. 1706, and Section 38 and 39 of Republic Act No. 7077, as well as all laws, decrees, order, rules, and regulation, and other issuances inconsistent with the provision of the Act of hereby deemed amended and modified accordingly. Section 16. If any section or provision of this IRR shall be declared unconstitutional or invalid, the other section of provision not affected thereby shall remain in full force and effect. Section 17. Effectively. These rules should take effect immediately upon adoption and issuance.